Great, thanks for joining us. Do you want to start off just by telling us a little bit more about BCD, what you guys are in the collective? Just give a brief overview for people who don't necessarily know who you are.
Yeah, so BCD Meetings and Events, more than 2,000 employees worldwide. We're a privately held company. We're a sister company to BCD Travel, so part of the BCD group. Within BCD Meetings and Events, we also have the collective, which is our end-to-end production and creative services. So it's not a separate legal company or anything. It's just another division within how we operate, a business unit you could call it. We also have another business unit that focus on meetings management. But today we're launching the collective in Germany, which is something that we have already in the US and the UK. And now for the first time, we're also adding another country. So exciting times indeed.
Why Germany?
Well, we're launching it from an organic point of view. So we're looking at launching it in different ways. And right now this is going to be an organic launch, meaning that we're building on the capabilities that we have already in the country. So we have a very strong logistics team today. And so basically we do everything until we reach the stage. And we kind of leave that to the other agencies or to the customer to figure that one out themselves, or if we partner with the UK or the US. And so we have a really strong client base. It's also one of the largest economies in the world, and particularly in Europe. But also the maturity of the customers that we have tells us that this is a probably good market for us to start with. And so we hired Niels Hartmann as the new leader for the collective in Germany, who's got a multi-year background from the right agencies. And now he is building his own team, so he's hiring people in order to have that competence that we need in order to offer the services for our customers. So that's where we're at.
Brilliant, brilliant. I suppose more now, with the expansion coming about, how do you see that particularly helping BCD as a whole? How do you see it pairing with the rest of the collective? And where do you see the growth in Germany in the next few years?
Yeah, so it's perfect timing in the sense that we want to differentiate our business as well. So I'm looking at other ways of growing in the region as well. So apart from organic, we're looking at JVs and maybe acquisitions as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are more markets to be announced at a later stage. And it's all about differentiating our business. And we're also looking at other regions like APAC and LatAm as well, to make sure that we can meet our customers where they want us to be. Sustainability is a key driver around that as well. So if you have a production in the US and they have an event that they want to take to Germany, it doesn't make sense to fly the whole team over from the US. Now we can meet the customers there. And so it does make sense that we have that capability in other countries and markets, driven by the need of our customers.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Do you have a bigger client base in Germany as well? I'm right, you guys do a lot with pharmaceutical clients, right?
We do. But I would say also another industry vertical for us, very strong in Germany, is automotive. It's a big sector in Germany. And so we have lots of customers where we work in that sector, whether that's cars or trucks or companies that have parts to the automotive. So I think that's another strong sector for us apart from life science. Life science may be a little bit more on the meetings management and strategic part. And I would say if you look at the customers that we work with today, it's probably geared towards the automotive. And so as we look at the UK and the US, we have different sectors, so we can cross-pollinate, hopefully, in a good way.
Is there anything in particular about the expansion into Germany you wanted to talk about?
Well, I think there's...
yours today.
Yeah, thank you. As you're launching this, you go, okay, well, there's another agency in Germany. There's hundreds of them. Competition is fierce. So what separates us? I think what we're going to be focusing on is something that we see in the US and the UK has really helped us, is that we focus on the KPIs and the business objectives. and that we are very clear with the customer in the pre-brief to understand what specific goals do we need to achieve in order to design the right experience. And I think we'll be pretty tough there because we need to force the customers to think in that way. You can have some questions asked, what you want them to feel, what you want them to know, and what you want them to do in terms of participants to get that conversation going. But unless we can get those specific KPIs, I think we will back out. We will not participate. It is important for us to demonstrate that we can provide a business impact, and without clear goals and without a before and after measurement, that's subjective, and I'd like to stay away from that. So I think if there's anything that we will be focusing on, and hopefully why the customers should be looking at us and partnering with us, is if they are looking at an agency that they are working with today, maybe not supporting them in that area, hopefully we could be their next future partner.
Sure. And in the day-to-day of this new of the new side, what will you be implementing within the company to make sure you do stand out internally?
Well, first of all, it's around people. It's finding the right people that can fit into our organization. So we're not a small company. We're not a big company in Germany either. We're 60, 70 people, so it's not massive. But of course, you're part of an organization which is 2,000 plus. It has its upsides and has its downsides. So you need to be a person that can feel like an entrepreneur and that you can really leverage your skill set, but also tapping onto the upsides of being a company that managed more than 2 billion US in spend. So negotiating terms and conditions and so on and so forth. So I think the people we're looking for is that culture fit. And so now with Niels and the people he has already hired, I think we're going to be expanding in a positive way with a workforce that really drives in the same direction.
Great. I mean, and a big topic at the minute is obviously AI and technology. What sort of processes are you implementing as well to help you guys stay ahead from everyone else in this competitive way?
Yeah, so we have our own AI, generative AI solution. It's a proprietary solution, mostly driven by data security. But for now, I think we are mostly focused internally how we can have that as a way to enhance our processes in order to have our people to be more effective. It's all driven by adoption, and if we have a tool and we're not utilizing it, it's just going to sit there. And so right now we're at 70+% adoption, which is really good. That means we can do more. But I think for now it's also seen that our employee engagement is increasing, and so it means we're taking out those cumbersome tasks and having that done by AI and automation. And so for now, our people are happy with that. They can be more productive, and that means we can create a work day which is focused more on the things that you like to do. And there are things that we have to do as a company, whether that's reporting or whatever. And so the more we can automate and we can just focus on the craftsmanship and the magic and the passion that you have as an individual, I think that's great. I think to tag on to that, because that's what we're doing right now, I think the next phase around that is see how we can use AI to also create bespoke solutions for our customers. It's not easy because M&E is not a transaction, it's a project. It's got so many different variables, but I'm sure there are ways that we can implement smart solutions with our customers. So hopefully we can pilot a few ideas and see how that can bear fruit for the future.
Sure. You mentioned a lot about people there. When it comes to sort of execution and sort of acquiring clients, what separates you from there as with people at the forefront for you guys?
Well, I think we're a people-centric company, and you look at the hiring process, quite cumbersome sometimes. There's a lot of interviews, and I typically weigh in many of those final interviews, not to have the final say, but just to share perspective. But we want to hire the right people, and that means also it's a dialogue, right? As the employee also should be asking us the right questions. Are we the right person for them? Ideally, I'd like to see everyone stay. We have a very high retention, very few people that leave, And actually also those that leave actually come back, many of them. We have a term calling them boomerangs. So we can get people to stay. And essentially, they're going to be as close as we can to our customers and making sure that our customers are happy, meaning that they also work with the same person year after year. That is also a way for us to have a very high retention rate also on the customer side. They see the same people, they see the same project managers year after year, and if that doesn't change also on the customer side, that's also a good recipe for success. Because every time you do an event, you learn a little bit more, and you can apply that. And if you add new people all the time, you kind of lose that along the way. So that's why I think it's so important that we, in the hiring process, but also in the retention, leadership, having the right leaders, taking care of our people. We talk a lot about culture, which for me is, it's values that we have as a company combined with the right behavior, not only by our employees, but also our leaders, to make sure that we really live up to those values. So it's not just a PowerPoint that, looks good on a piece of paper, but actually something that you see in the day-to-day life.
Amazing. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Is there anything more that you wanted to talk about with the, or it doesn't have to be about the launch in Germany, anything else?
No, but maybe touching a little bit on sustainability, because we had an advisory board yesterday with our customers, and it's interesting, it's a buzzword, everybody's talking about it, a little bit like AI, but I have to be respectful that, for the launch of the collective in Germany, that's going to be a key differentiator, we believe. We have an ISO certification there, and the team are really skilled. We have a person reporting directly into me who oversees all our sustainability efforts, and she's really top of mind working with our customers. And it's great to see that customers now are asking for support in the planning phase, choosing a destination. What's the best destination for the event purpose from a sustainability point of view? And then you have logistics and another perspective, and you have the budget as the third consideration. So it's great to see, and as great as that is, you also have other countries where this isn't top of mind. And so, but for Germany and the collective, and also generally in Germany, I think sustainability is important, and we'll see more of that. And if KPI is one of the measurements for success for us, I think combining that with a smart solution around sustainability, I think competition should be looking at.
Brilliant. I think there's a lot of talk about sustainability being the nice to have option as well. It's not something that the clients are coming forth with themselves. From what I've heard in our sort of circles that we have, what kind of things are you doing at the collective to sort of change people's perspectives on that?
Well, I think first of all we have an ISO certification, and also we have a team already trained in our event checklist, and we have also a dedicated ambassador team working and spotting out the next solutions that we need to have in terms of delivering smart solutions to our customers. So I think it's geared towards a continuation, and I think there are some countries that are going to lead the development. In Europe, I would say France is very strong, Germany, my home country Sweden is also the same thing. And so we will see more and more customers that we already see are leaning in. Again, we had an advisory board yesterday. One customer from Sweden, she's really passionate. She's got the support from the CEO to implement new ways of thinking. And those examples you could already hear from the other customers around Europe going, oh, that's interesting, what have you done? And I think, sustainability is at its core, but you start to come up with creative and smart solutions and you can copy with pride and implement. At the end of the day, what works will be quickly rolled out. So it's exciting to see, because the collective is, obviously large events and that you can have an impact of, but also looking at strategic meetings management. If you have 10,000 meetings and you start to measure the impact of the CO2 and how you can reduce that in a smart way. Right now, I think customers are lacking the visibility of a dashboard, and once they have that visibility, they can then start to make smart decisions on how they can reduce that. So it's still early days, but at least the conversations are going, and I think that's pretty interesting.
Amazing, amazing, brilliant. Thank you so much.